Welcome to another edition of Teen Talk with Mr. G. Make sure you like and subscribe to these videos to make sure to find out when the next installment is coming. And be sure to share this with your friends because, frankly, all Christians need to be aware of this very important issue. Did you know that, according to some statistics, over 50% of young Christians going to public high school and colleges and universities end up giving up their faith in Jesus simply because they think that evolution is true? And, well, frankly, that's what we're talking about today: evolution right and evolution wrong. Now, for years, I've been hearing the evolutionists screaming that Christians are anti science or that Christians don't understand evolution or some such stuff like that. Well, it's important to know that the word evolution really has two meanings. The first, of course, is evolution right. Now, honestly, when I say evolution right, a lot of Christians go, "What do you mean evolution right? Oh, that's terrible. It's good." Well, frankly, remember, I am a high school biology teacher, and the secular textbook did talk about things that are scientifically true, except there's more to it than that. Did you know that evolution right is also known as microevolution or speciation? Things of that sort. Next, it's important to know that, as I said, it's proven by science and breeding. In fact, all Christians need to accept this because, well, it's right, it's true. And this is huge. It does not contradict Scripture. Well, how do we know that? Well, because animals reproduce after their kind, just like it says in Genesis. And we have things like the dog kind or the cat kind, wolves or tigers, and they're never going to switch and they're never going to breed something else. And living things do change. Of course they do. They change within a very limited range. Now, as I said, evolutionists call this evolution. And that's what they are thinking. When you say you don't believe in evolution, they accuse you of denying evolution right, which is not true. So tell them that you believe in evolution right and not evolution wrong. Now, I have to talk more about this because evolution wrong is truly otherwise known as macroevolution, except this is becoming passe. The evolution community is finding out that we've got to up our game, and we're not going to call it macroevolution, meaning big changes. We'll just talk for millions of years of accumulating small changes. So it's microevolution forever. And that's what changes pond scum into people. Yeah, right. Now, please note that evolution wrong is not proven at all. Remember, evolution right is proven. Evolution wrong is only an interpretation. Remember their worldview, the glasses they look through? Well, it shows them that their interpretation is correct. But please remember that's not the worldview we have. It's not science versus religion, as I've said earlier. This is big. Christians, especially you teenagers, need to understand that evolution wrong contradicts Scripture. Why? Well, because animals and plants change kinds. And didn't God say in Genesis that they reproduce after their kind? Another thing to think about is that, well, that means God uses mistakes to get what he finally wanted. That doesn't sound like the kind of God I want to worship. Now, please remember that evolutionists call this evolution as well. So they want you to accept evolution right, which you should. But then it's called bait and switch. And they say, well, if you believe this, you got to believe that. And no. And what is evolution anyway? Well, there was a science teacher at a science conference that I went to when I was in high school teaching, going to science conferences, and she wearily looked at me and said, "Don't you get it, Mr. Geishan? Evolution is simply change over time." And then she walked away. Please note that this change over time covers both evolution right and evolution wrong. Now, key questions to ask the evolutionists. How much change are we talking about, and how much time are we talking about? Are we talking about limited change or vast amounts of change, which has never been found to be true? And how much time are we talking about? Are we simply talking about a few thousand years after the flood, or are we talking about millions of years? So, well, as you can see, we've got a lot more to talk about, a lot of issues. So don't forget, like and subscribe this, and leave some comments down below of maybe of suggested topics that I should get into. Until then, see you next time. Bye.